Welcome back, football fans, to another episode of the Prediction Show. It is Filter Friday today. That's what we're calling this episode. We're going to take a look at the weekend's fixtures using quick filters for various markets. So a great episode lined up. And there's a few more things, as you can see by the ticker down there. We are going to do man versus machine once more. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yes, welcome to Filter Friday, a new segment here on the Prediction Show. We're going to be doing man versus machine as well. I've also got a brand new update to the Bet of the Day page, which is pretty exciting, so stay tuned for that. Speaking of things that are new, you might also notice this ticker. It is live data from the form guide, so we can see going across right now, most corners, Arsenal 10 out of 10, Marseille 9 out of 10, Bayern 8 out of 10. That means that they've had the most corners in that number of games. It's showing you the last 10 games worth of data. No surprise there, as you see Barca, Real and Bayern go past for that statistic. Showing you the top three. If you want to explore the form guide more, of course, you can at any time. And let us know what you think about that in the comments. Anything else you want to add to the video or anything you want me to cover, just let me know. And speaking of comments, well done to this person who won OddAlerts Pro for commenting on the last video. And the same, of course, applies for this video. Just get your comments in, and I'm going to make it easy for you because I've got a very, very important question. Manchester City hosting Liverpool on Sunday. What's the score going to be? What are your predictions for this one? Massive, massive game. And Real Madrid against City absolutely blew them away, didn't they? City did not turn up. Incidentally, we needed one more Madrid card in that game for our bet to land. And yeah, I just couldn't believe what I was watching in terms of Man City. Haaland on the bench, De Bruyne not coming on. This is the end of an era, I feel. And what will Liverpool do on Sunday? Get your comments in now. So the first quick filter we are going to do on this Filter Friday is for home wins. And I'm doing this because somebody asked in the comments, how did I find the Barnet game from in the week? Barnet were 1.85 or something, maybe a little bit higher with other bookmakers. They won 3-1. It was a value bet. So because it was a value bet, I'm going to show you how you can create value bets in seconds, to be honest, how you can find them in seconds. We are going to be looking at, let's say, 60%. So that is about 1.67, I think, in terms of implied odds. So that's that. If you just want to find strong home teams, you can literally just add one rule, click search, and let's click search, see what we get. So we get games for today. What we can also then do is add a filter for the odds, and we can say, let's say 1.8. So there's a nice little bit of value there already, and we'll hit search. And yeah, we will go and view the stats and actually the probability model at first, so we can see straight away all of these teams that we are seeing have very, very decent records at home. The probability model is giving them very, very strong chances of winning these games. Now for Friday, we've just got 5 games. One from the Eerste Divisie, incidentally, which is one of my favourite leagues, or it used to be for BTTS and goals and everything. And then the others are a little bit more obscure. The League Cup B in Iceland, you can check how many games these teams have played. So these are showing the last 25 games, which means they are just kicking off. So the League Cup in Iceland is just kicking off, and this is obviously an international tournament for women, so you might not want to bet on that one. And then what we can do, if you're viewing this in the future, Saturday or Sunday, you can click on the calendar icon and then click next 5 days, and that is going to get you a few more games indeed. And we're not sorting by anything in particular at the moment, but we can click on the filter again, and then we can click on the odds. So let's sort by the odds, shall we, and see what we get there. And again, we're getting teams and leagues where there's not been too many games played. So this is why quick filtering is really, really easy, really, really simple. Let's say that all our teams have played at least 10 games. We hit search again. We filter out those teams in a matter of seconds. It's really good. And we get one here, third hosting fourth in Wales, Holywell against Buckley Town. We get that Indonesian game again for Friday, second hosting sixth. We can take a look at that in a moment. We get the Eerste Divisie game again as well. And that's it. It is a nice collection, a pretty small collection of games, of value bets for this weekend. Antwerp is a game that appears on this list, so let's take a quick look at that one. We're going to dig into the data for quite a few games here, but the main focus of this video is to show you how you can create quick filters yourself to find games. I find it's important to have a market in mind, so if you're thinking about BTTS over 2.5 goals, quick filters is really good at letting you zone in on those markets and find high potential teams and leagues, and of course, fixtures. So straight off the bat, they're playing a team that has won just 8% of their away games, but they have drawn just under 40%. 24 points at home compared to just 8 points away for Leuven here. And Antwerp, they are scoring plenty of goals. They're not conceding too many. The away team have scored just 7 away from home. Let's have a look at the recent results for both of these teams. Antwerp, 1 defeat since early December, and that was to Anderlecht, who are one of the other strong teams in this league, of course. BTTS lands an awful lot for this team. An awful lot at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the last 6 games at home. Away from home, Leuven are not in any kind of form. They've lost the last 4 games, conceding in every game, of course, and not scoring in any of those games. Now, they have played each of the sort of first, second, and 4th. Where are Antwerp? Is this going to complete the pack? No, Antwerp are 5th. So they have played some tough games, and you would expect this to be another tough game for them. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. The odds we can check. The peak is 1.95. Given the data, I do think that is worth maybe a double. It's a value bet though, isn't it? So if you've got a strategy on value betting on OddAlerts and this game comes up, you take it and you add it to your bankroll. 1.75. As low as 1.75. So let me know what you think about this one in the comments. We can see the probability model, 1.62 implied odds. Next, we are going to create a quick filter for goals. So the next quick filter we're going to look at is going to be for goals. What we can do here is, again, lean on the probability model. We're going to look at over 1.5 goals, and then we'll take a look at the games. What I want to do here, you can see that we're looking at competitions already, and I've selected the Bundesliga and the Championship and the Premier League and all the English leagues as well. I think they're good for goals, especially the Bundesliga, all of those Bundesliga leagues. Now I'm going to lean on an away team. We're going to look at an away team that has scored in, let's say, 70% of their games. We can hit search at this moment just to see what kind of games we would get back. And we get games straight away. Stuttgart, decent away team. Magdeburg, they are 4th in the 2nd division. Tottenham, I believe they've scored in every game. Maybe I'm wrong there. Certainly that was the case recently. Man City, Liverpool, again, get your comments in. What is the score going to be in that game? So again, just 2 rules makes this very, very simple, easy to filter through. And let's see how many games there actually are for this. So there is quite a few games, but it's still a manageable shortlist for you to go through and have a look. Crystal Palace Fulham could be an interesting game. Fulham surprising a few people in recent results. Middlesbrough away from home, not doing very well at the moment. But of course, the data tells us that they've scored in 70% of all games. So why don't we add another filter here that says they have scored in every single one of the last 5 games, just so we can qualify the recent form, because I know Middlesbrough think they are not in the best shape at the moment, so you might want to avoid them. So we're going to save this for the away team, and maybe we want to qualify as well that the home team is capable, so we can just add points per game for that. We can just say 1.2 points per game, and then we will hit search and see how the results differ. So Magdeburg survived, Liverpool survived, Bayern Munich against Frankfurt survives. That could be an interesting game, couldn't it? BTTS potentially in that one. That one is also on Sunday at the same time. What are you thinking about a BTTS double for City, Liverpool and Bayern Munich, Frankfurt? The German leagues, there's so many games here, isn't there, from the German league? So we now know, again, just by using the tool, that every away game we're going to come across here has scored in the last 5 games. Crystal Palace, we saw as well on the ticker that they are doing very, very well in terms of defensive record as well. They've conceded just 6 in the last 10, which is actually better than any team in Europe's top 5 leagues. They rank first for that, and let's take a look at some of these games, and you can see it is now a short list that is worthy of our attention. So Sutton United, and what you should do is remember what you filtered for in the quick filter, and then just be sure to double check what you haven't got in there. So for instance, we're not qualifying the goals of the home team. You can of course add it in, but it just makes it a bit more interesting if you can do it in here. So we can now see, looking at Sutton United, they've scored in every home game since October, and BTTS has landed in quite a few of them. Now for Braintree, they have, of course, scored in the majority of their away games because that's what we've qualified. They're not the best away team in the world, but they are coming back into the swing of things. Just one defeat in the last 4 games. This one looked good for BTTS for me. Let's have a look at the probability model. It's calling Sutton United for a home win. Over evens, though, in terms of the odds. BTTS is 1.78. What about in reality? Let's have a look. What do you think? 1.95 with Bet365. I am liking the look of that. Let me know what you think in the comments. It is, of course, a value bet. We found another value bet. I'm going to add that to my slip. Sutton United, Braintree, BTTS. Let's move on to another game. Just before we move on to the next game and more quick filtering, this is the value bets page. Go to oddalerts.com/app and you can explore this, the bet slip generator, the player props tool as well. These are all in beta, new, being tested. And what this value bets tool offers is automated alerts. So whenever a game comes into your filter settings, you will get a notification on Telegram telling you about the game, and you can add these games to bet tracking instantly. And yeah, you can adjust your settings and check your profitability as well with the profit calculator. So I've also got videos on YouTube about this. I will link them in here or in the description. Now back to the video. So Sutton versus Braintree Town, BTTS, and yes, this quick filter was designed for goals, but you can still fall back to other things when you see games. Birmingham City away at Reading. Let's take a look at this one, and then we'll jump to some games in the Bundesliga. So Birmingham City are without Jay Stansfield now, who got injured, and Reading come into this in decent form at home. They've scored again. It's looking similar to the Sutton game, isn't it? They've scored in the majority of games, and they are actually really, really good at home, and they are pushing for a playoff spot. Their away form, however, is not very good, and they will fancy their chances with Birmingham City coming to town. Birmingham City have not lost since November, and I'm not going to say that they're going to lose in this game because they're still a very good team, but will they concede? That is the question. They've conceded at Wrexham, they've conceded at Stockport, who were 3rd at the time and 5th at the time. They've conceded at Barnsley, who were 8th at the time. They conceded to Mansfield, who were 4th at the time, Lincoln, who were 6th at the time. So you get what I'm saying. They actually kept a clean sheet, though, away at Huddersfield in the previous game. So how will this one go? Let's have a look if this is also a value bet. 1.73 for BTTS. Implied odds. What are the odds at this moment in time? BTTS 1.95 again. So this is another value bet. So this filter is turning into a pretty good filter for BTTS value bets unintentionally. But that, for me, is the beauty and the power of quick filters, finding very, very interesting games based on the stats that you want, based on the filters that, markets that you are interested in. Yeah, nice selection. Reading, they've scored in how many games at home? They've scored in the majority of games, failed to score against Blackpool of all teams. They've averaged 1.87. What about the last 10 games, averaging 1.9? They've failed to score in just one of the last 10 games, which is that Blackpool game, of course. And 13% of games overall this season. There has not been a 0-0 at home or away for both of these teams. So another value bet there found BTTS. I'm not going to add this to the selection because I want to check out some of the German games, but this is a value bet. Feel free to take it. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's also a 12:30 game, so, never bet on the early. At the bottom of the results for this quick filter is Mansfield against Wrexham. Now, we were on Wrexham for over 2.5 goals in the week, and they lost to Leyton Orient. Now, I was also saying that it's good when you can get them at evens to win at home. I didn't put it on. I'm sure some of you may have, because it's still good when you see it. But Leyton Orient are a much better team than Mansfield. We look at Mansfield here. That is not good form at all. At home, they have not scored in the last 3 games. And of course, Wrexham, coming off the back of that defeat, will be keen to bounce right back. The form has been a little bit shaky at the moment. Away from home, they have won the last couple of games, but they are conceding goals. So for this one, they are over evens again. So is it worth it? I think it is. The double chance at 1.36 if you want to take away some risk just in case. BTTS 1.8. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Draw no bet 1.62. That is quite appealing for me. Get a refund, of course, if it ends in a draw. So I've gone with Wrexham or draw, and then I said, before not to bet on the early, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go with over 1.5 goals in the Reading-Birmingham game. I think that'll be a good game. Yes, it is the 12:30, but hopefully there's more than a couple of goals in that game. It ranks high, as all of these games do, for over 1.5 goals probability. Wrexham to win, to bounce back, you could go with that, and obviously then you don't need to add Reading Birmingham to get those odds up to where I would, consider it viable. Freeze 3.5. So 3.25, that is the slip for Saturday. Sutton against Braintree, Mansfield against Wrexham, Reading Birmingham. So the next filter, the next segment is actually predefined filters for you, and this is the bet of the day page. What it does is ranks all of the games by the probability model and gives you options like this. Full-time result, double chance, BTTS, over 1.5 goals to over 3.5 goals. These are newly added to this page as well, as is the design that we will see in a moment. For this one, we are going to be looking at first half goals. You can see you've got over 8.5 and 9.5 corners there. You've got home and away goals as well, also freshly added to this page yesterday. First half goals then, let's take a look. We're going to be looking at tomorrow, which is Saturday. You can see the new design is lightning quick. It is a much more easy to read design. You can just flick through this page and see the top games for first half goals. And we've got games from Hong Kong. We've got games from Australia, Rangers St Mirren as well. And these games are alert worthy, so you can click into the games. I'll just show you with the Rangers game in a minute. Arsenal West Ham, 73% chance of a first half goal there. Maybe you then look at Arsenal to win at half time and full time. West Ham, it's not really worked out yet for Potter, has it? Will there be a difference there? This game is also on Saturday. Benfica hosting Boavista. Again, maybe there is opportunities here. Let's take a look at it in a new tab for half-time, full-time. Let's take a look. Benfica at home to Boavista. They are second in the league. They've won 91% of games. They are through in the Champions League. And I imagine that they are sure odds. 1.24 with the model. 1.11 in reality, but let's take a look at that timing data, and you can see they've won 73% of games by halftime. If we look at the halftime result right now, it's 1.42. So what you can do is create an alert on this game. First half goals, let me know if it hits 1.6. Halftime results, let me know if it hits evens. And I'll go in and investigate the state of the game, of course, and see what's going on. So that was the first game. Let's have a look at Rangers and St Mirren as well. Probability model giving Rangers a 1.29% win, as you would expect. And again, it's similar stuff, isn't it? 1.18. Half-time result is 1.53, so a little bit better. But again, let me know if it hits evens, and I'll be notified. And that is the new bet of the day page. You can see how you can also look at halftime result. We could have just started there, couldn't we? And you get some of the similar games. Rangers, Arsenal expected to win. You can see that this is actually a value bet. When you see this little EV here, positive EV means a value bet. And we have one here for Arsenal, and actually 1.54 for Rangers as well. Both kicking off at 3 p.m. on Saturday, maybe worth a double in play if they both start slow. Wonder what odds you can get during the first 15-20 minutes of those games if they are both 0-0. One to watch out for sure. So before we go, let's take a look at the bet slip generator, because we're going to do man versus machine. And we had odds of 3.4, didn't we, on ours? And it was a treble. So we're going to mimic that. And I think the odds per item are okay. We'll do next 72 hours. And we will sort by probability. Let's hit get. And we get a value bet at the top. These are all value bets actually, and we've got a game here, over 2.5 goals in the under 21s, that's usually a good bet. A home win in Portugal, Sporting Braga, that is a value bet, and of course another game for over 2.5 goals, 3.02. We might get some better odds as we scroll down because we are sorting by probability, remember, which is the combined probability of the whole slip. 3.38 here. We've got a game on Sunday, and we've got a game tonight. BTTS in the Iceland League Cup, so, you know, a bit riskier because it's a cup game, but let me know what you think about that one in the comments. Yeah, so these top three, feel free to look at them and see what you think. You can use the bet slip generator, and if you want to sign up to OddAlerts Pro, just use the code YouTube for 15% off. That has been Man vs Machine. I'm going to select the top one because it's the highest probability to compare against my EFL treble. So the first game is actually on Friday, as is the second game, and then the final game is on Saturday AM. So by Saturday, sort of 3 AM UK time, we will know if this has won at 3.02 odds. So I will leave you with some trends here, and these are the best home teams. You can get to this page, oddalerts.com/trends. If you are interested in signing up to OddAlerts and testing out any of these features, especially the quick filters, you can use the code YouTube to get 15% off. If you've got any feedback, just let me know in the comments and get your comments in for Man City, Liverpool. This has been a bit of a different one, focusing on filters. I hope you've learned something from it, got some value. Let me know what you think about my treble as well for Saturday. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.